I woke up to find half my Christmas display gone. The lights were still blinking, the snow machine still humming, but my reindeer gone. My front yard looked like Santa crash-landed and limped away. I stood there in my slippers, staring at the empty patch of lawn, where I'd spent hours setting up the display for the neighborhood contest. Then I noticed something, a trail of glitter and broken tinsel leading straight toward Patricia Hendriss's house. Now, if you've ever lived under an HOA, you know there's always one person who treats the rulebook like scripture. Ours was Patricia, self-proclaimed decorum officer of Maple Grove Estates. She once fined a guy for having a mailbox flag that was too patriotic. So imagine my surprise when I saw her front porch glowing with the exact same reindeer I bought from Home Goods last week. Same chipped antler, same crooked smile. I took a photo with my phone, trying to stay calm. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe the decorations blew into her yard somehow. But as I walked up her driveway, I heard the unmistakable sound of kids laughing. Through her window, I saw them. 2 teenagers, tangled in string lights, taking selfies with my stolen decorations. I knocked. Patricia opened the door, perfectly groomed, mug of coffee in hand, and that smug HOA smile plastered across her face. "Can I help you, Mr. Morrison?" she asked, dragging out my name like it was an insult. "Yeah," I said. "You can give me back my reindeer." She didn't even blink. "Excuse me? I saw your kids take them. I've got pictures." She looked over her shoulder, then back at me. "You're mistaken. My children wouldn't steal anything. Maybe you misplaced them." I held up my phone. "You mean like this?" I showed her the photo, her son posing next to my reindeer, giving a thumbs up. Her face twitched. "That's clearly photoshopped," she said. That's when I realized. She wasn't just going to deny it. She was going to fight it. "Patricia," I said slowly, "I'm giving you one chance to make this right." She smirked. "Or what? You'll cry to the HOA board?" I smiled back. "No, but I will call the police, and I think they'll enjoy a holiday visit." She laughed as I walked away, but something told me she wouldn't be laughing much longer. By noon, Patricia had already gone on the offensive. I got an email from the HOA board titled, "Complaint regarding excessive holiday displays attached." Were photos, my decorations, but now listed as evidence that I'd been violating HOA lighting codes. She'd actually flipped the story, claiming my display was a visual nuisance that disrupted community standards. I laughed out loud reading it. The nerve of that woman. She knew her kids stole my decorations, and instead of apologizing, she was trying to turn me into the bad guy. I decided to play it smart. I didn't call the cops right away. Not yet. I wanted her to dig her own hole. That night, I set up my security camera footage. Sure enough, around midnight, there they were, Patricia's 2 kids sneaking into my yard again. This time, they were trying to grab my inflatable Santa. They tripped on the power cord, fell face first into the snow, and scrambled away, dragging Santa like a war trophy. I saved the footage and sent a copy to my email. Evidence, clear as day. The next morning, I ran into Patricia while she was walking her dog. "Morning," I said cheerfully. "Your kids out late again?" She froze. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Oh, nothing," I said. "Just noticed they seem to enjoy my yard ornaments." She narrowed her eyes. "If you keep harassing my family, I'll file a restraining order." I smiled. "That's funny, because if you keep lying, I'll file a police report." By the time I got home, the HOA group chat was blowing up. Patricia had already told everyone I was spreading false accusations and targeting her children. Her allies, mostly. Other board members were piling on. "So unneighborly," one message read. "Why ruin Christmas with drama?" But then a few messages changed everything. Neighbors began noticing something odd. Patricia's house looked exactly like mine. The same reindeer, the same lights, even my custom Santa landing zone sign. One neighbor posted a side-by-side comparison photo. Wait, why does Patricia's display look copied? By afternoon, the thread was chaos. People were asking questions Patricia couldn't answer, And when one of her kids posted a TikTok, bragging about raiding Mr. Morrison's lame yard, it spread faster than eggnog at a church party. I didn't have to say a word. Patricia was unraveling all on her own. But I still had one more card to play, the footage. I waited until Saturday evening, right, when the HOA was hosting its Holiday Harmony meeting at the clubhouse. Patricia was front and center, dressed like Mrs. Claus with a clipboard in hand, lecturing everyone about proper neighborhood conduct. The irony was almost poetic. I sat quietly in the back, my laptop bag at my feet. She was halfway through a speech about decorative fairness when I stood up. "Excuse me, Patricia," I said. "Before we continue, I think everyone deserves to see something." She stiffened. "Mr. Morrison, this is an HOA meeting, not your personal—" I didn't let her finish. I plugged my laptop into the projector and hit play. On the screen, clear as daylight, her two kids could be seen sneaking across my yard, stuffing my reindeer into a wagon. The room went dead silent. You could even hear the squeak of the wagon wheels as they dragged it away. Then came the grand finale, her son tripping over the inflatable Santa's cord, face-planting into the snow. Laughter rippled across the room. Patricia turned beet red. That could be anyone's children," she sputtered. "Really?" I said. "Because your son posted this." I played the TikTok clip, her kid's voice, bragging about borrowing decorations. Her own voice could even be heard faintly in the background, saying, "Hurry before he notices." The HOA president, Mr. Lee, slowly turned to her. "Patricia, is this true?" She tried to recover. "It's being taken out of context." My kids were, returning the decorations he left in their yard. Someone snorted. "At midnight?" Then came the kicker. I pulled out the email she'd sent accusing me of theft of community property and visual pollution. I handed it to Mr. Lee. "She filed this the same day the theft happened," I said. "So either she's psychic or she's hiding something." The murmurs grew louder. Patricia's confidence drained from her face. Mr. Lee sighed, rubbing his temples. "Patricia, this is serious. We'll have to report this to the authorities," she snapped. "You can't do that. I am the HOA," she shouted. I smirked. Not for long. I left the meeting as she tried to argue her way out, but I already knew what was coming next. Once the cops got that footage, her little HOA empire would crumble faster than stale gingerbread. 2 days later, a patrol car rolled slowly down Maple Grove Lane. I was trimming the hedge when it stopped in front of Patricia's house. The entire neighborhood peeked from behind curtains like it was Christmas morning. Officer Ramirez stepped out, calm but firm, clipboard in hand. Patricia opened the door, still in her robe, trying to look unbothered. "Good morning, officer," she said with that same brittle smile. "Morning, ma'am," Ramirez replied. "We received a report and video evidence concerning stolen property from Mr. Morrison's residence. Mind if we come in?" Her expression cracked. "This is ridiculous. Those decorations were a mix-up." He nodded. "Then you won't mind showing us where you got them?" Within minutes, the officer and his partner were in her yard, photographing the stolen items. My reindeer, my Santa landing zone, even my light-up sleigh. Her kids stood awkwardly by the door, heads down, while she fumbled excuses about temporary borrowing. Then the second cruiser showed up. Another officer went straight to my house to confirm serial numbers and receipts I'd printed from Home Goods. I'd kept everything, right down to the packaging. Patricia didn't know that each decoration had a small silver label from the same batch. When they matched, the officer turned to her. "Ma'am, this confirms these items belong to Mr. Morrison." Her voice rose an octave. "This is a misunderstanding. You can't seriously be arresting me over Christmas ornaments." "No, ma'am," Ramirez said. "But filing a false police report and harassment through an HOA board, those are different matters." Her jaw dropped. Neighbors began gathering outside, whispering and filming on their phones. The same people who once feared her now watched her melt down, like a snowman under a heat lamp. "Patricia Hendress," Ramirez said, "you're being charged with theft." and filing a false report. He didn't even need to raise his voice. The click of the handcuffs was enough to echo across the cul-de-sac. As they led her to the patrol car, her kids stared at the ground. I felt a twinge of pity for them. Just kids following a bad example. Still, the sight of my reindeer being carried back to my yard by the officers was strangely satisfying. Later that evening, the HOA board voted to remove Patricia permanently. Mr. Lee knocked on my door and handed me a letter. We apologize for the behavior of a former member. You've been cleared of all complaints. I hung the reindeer back in place, plugged in the lights, and smiled as they flickered to life. For the first time all season, the neighborhood was quiet, and Patricia's house dark. If you enjoyed watching Karen finally get what she deserved, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment about your craziest HOA story, and subscribe for more real-life neighborhood drama. Trust me, the next one's even wilder.